All right, welcome back everybody to another episode of QuattroQuattroDos. Once again, this is your boy Cristian, and today, we are recording just after the terrible and atrocious defeat we just suffered against Chicago Fire, the team with the worst logo in the MLS. We went up there, we flew up there, and got cuatro pepitas scored on us. Could have been more. VAR gave us a little bit of help here and there, and also kind of took away a little bit here and there in a penalty. But, we'll get to it in a minute. If you want to follow the show, make sure you follow it under QuattroQuattroDos on Instagram, which is QuattroQuattroDos. And you can also find this on YouTube. You can watch the video of the podcast episode, which actually we happen to be turning a quarter today. So today is our 25th episode. So pretty cool. Thank you for everybody listening, watching, and all that stuff. 25 episodes. Ain't that crazy? We had a whole pandemic go through 2020, but I've been able to record 25 different times. So that's pretty cool. Especially, knowing that I had the Come and Take It podcast before this, and that was probably another good 5 or 6 episodes. So technically, I guess it's like 30, but we'll only count the QuattroQuattroDos 25 for this time. And then you can follow me at Cris Putallaz, CRISPUTALLAZ, as in zebra. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter as well. I've been talking a lot how I'm going to start doing interviews, so hopefully here and there, I need to start hitting people up for real now so we can start setting up interviews. The only downside for me doing interviews is that I have to do them at night after I put my kids to bed. But, if anybody is willing to talk to me, anybody watching or listening wants to come on the show and talk, hit me up. We can arrange something. If not, then I'll be reaching out to some people here soon, hopefully sooner than later. But other than that, I guess we can go and get to it and talk about just a little bit before we get into this terrible loss. We can talk a little bit about we already talked about Colorado. We already talked about Colorado, and then we talked about Dallas. And then in between, we had Minnesota. Minnesota game was a 2-2 tie. It wasn't, compared to this game, any game is not terrible, actually. But the thing was, the Minnesota game also, I think we played a much better game. Hopefully you guys watched it. We had our 11 starters that we usually have. I actually have the notes in a different notebook, but I'm not going to get up and get them. But, it was cool. There was the first time after technically is the second game for the Houston Dynamo to play at home with fans. So that was pretty exciting. Around 3,000 people were at the stadium, I believe. That's how many tickets they were going to sell. And for the looks of it, being in the stadium myself, it looked like there was a bunch of people. So I would assume that all of the tickets sold, if not close to all of them. But it was a cool environment to be at. Having people cheer, having people scream, having people boo. It's just soccer is so much different when you have the fans in there. Especially, I think. Personally, I think the Houston Dynamo has the best live music from, a supporter group in stadium in the MLS. So shout out to El Batallón. You guys are always killing it. You guys are always, you bring in the party along with Detection Army, along with the Surge, along with Bandera Negra, collectively Hustle Town Supporters Group or Hustle Town Supporters. But, we all know that, the Batallón is mainly the ones that bring the music. So shout out to those guys. It was pretty cool to have you guys, come back and for 90 straight minutes have you chanting and singing from beginning to end without stopping, even when the team was losing to when the team was tying. So it was cool to see that. It's cool to see all the supporters singing, chanting, waving flags, and all that stuff. So it was a cool. It felt normal again. It's cool to like just sit there and look around and look at families, parents with their kids. It's cool to see little kids kind of like yelling and chanting, let's go Dynamo, or whatever the chant may be at the time or whatever. But it was cool. So shout out to everybody that made it out. Everybody seems to be like in what's it called, in line with the whole like wearing your mask and trying to be safe and all that good stuff. So I didn't see anybody have a problem with anything, and I didn't see anybody complaining. I didn't see issues going on. So I think everybody was responsible enough, and I think if we just keep doing the way that we're doing it, and everybody takes self I don't know, what do you call it, self-responsibility, I think hopefully sooner than later we'll be able to have more people in the stadiums, and why not hopefully in the future have a full stadium, full stadium of people. But other than that, let's get into it. So the Minnesota game was very interesting because we were pretty much dominating that game. I'm not going to say that we killed the game. Good night. I'm not going to say that, we probably deserved to win in the way that we probably played a better game than Minnesota did. Both of their goals came from two mistakes in the midfield that led to like counterattacks, like really quick counterattacks that that obviously led to goals. And then our goals, kind of came a little bit more collectively and stuff like that. Having the first goal by Quinteros. Oh, also an interesting story. So when we get the penalty from Minnesota, that Memo actually, he like fought tooth and nail with the defender, took the ball away from him, like at the sideline, went into the box, got fouled by the, and he actually wanted to take that penalty. I mean, he earned it basically. He earned the penalty. So Quinteros went in and he was like, it's my birthday, calm down. I am the best player in the team, basically. Let me take this. Which, everybody was cool with it. And there's story behind the whole thing because Quinteros used to play for Minnesota United. And it was funny to watch the coach for Minnesota United, the coach and his assistant, basically have like a full-on conversation almost with the goalie and basically telling him, hey, Quinteros is right-footed and he always puts the ball in the same spot. So he's going to to your left, just go to your left, you're gonna catch it. No worries. So that's basically what happened. Quinteros threw the ball to the left of the goalie, and the goalie stopped it, which it was very funny, very, because if somebody would have turned around and would have seen the way that the freaking coach and his assistant were yelling at the goalkeeper, like, throw yourself to the left, throw yourself to the left. If somebody would have said, hey, Quinteros, look, like they're giving him instructions to go to the left, just go to the right, I think it would have been a whole different ball game, because I think at that time, if I'm not mistaken, we were losing 1-0, and that would have tied up the game. Because we started losing pretty early there in like the 10th minute or maybe before that. So that happened, right? So then they get, like a breakaway. I'm actually watching the highlights as I'm talking. But yeah, Memo freaking kills it. Like, he fought for that ball, and then he gets fouled right there, and then, takes penalty. It's funny because I'm trying to see if on the replay you can actually see the coach yelling at the player, which I don't think I am seeing it. Like, it's funny, they're fighting right there for the penalty. Memo really wants it. Quinteros is like, nah, son, it's mine. You're a young child. Respect my authority, basically. He went all South Park on him, and he got the penalty. Now you can't really see it. But Quinteros obviously goes to the goalie's left, and then, obviously he gets stopped. So that would have tied up the game 1-1, and that would have been probably a whole different game, because usually the Dynamo, when they're able to get a goal in, like they go full force and they start boom, 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 banging, you know. But that happened. Then the second goal for Minnesota came. It was a cross. The guy kicked it. There was a rebound, and then Marriage almost stopped it. You know, his body kind of went in with the ball. Marriage is having pretty good games. In the beginning, I was gonna say in the beginning of time. In the beginning of the seasons or the beginning of the games, Marriage has, you know, he was kind of like sketchy. A lot of people didn't know if it was the right move to get him or to get, you know, a different goalie and stuff like that. But lately he has been having, I mean, he makes mistakes here and there, but lately he has been having really good matches, really good saves, which have been like literally saving our asses. I was gonna say butts, but then I was like, why would I censor myself? Saving our asses in tight games like this. And then you have the, you know, Quinteros trying again. It was cool, the goal Quinteros. Okay, so let's talk about Quinteros. First of all, before we talk about the goal of Quinteros, I want to merit, if not shout out or point out, how essential Valentin has become in this Houston Dynamo. If you watched this Chicago game, and if you've been watching all the games that Valentin has been playing, so Valentin, I'm about to talk really good about you. Hopefully you can hear this, and hopefully you send me a pair of shoes. But other than that, I'm actually being honest. So if you look at Valentin and the way that he places balls into like the box, like most of these balls, like if you look at the goal from the Houston Dynamo against Minnesota, the first goal, you see that he crosses the ball to Manotas. But literally, if you look at it, the precision that he like uses or he has when crossing the ball into the box, it's just freaking incredible. Because if you look at it, he basically gives Manotas, like he places the ball almost with his hand into Manotas' head. And it is not the first time he does it. It's like the third time. It's like the third or fourth assist that he has. Jesus Christ. The first goal, if you guys remember back in the day when we played Galaxy, that the goal came from Manotas' header, but the ball came from Valentin, I believe. No, it didn't. I'm sorry. But because I was kind of went through the bottom. It doesn't matter. The point that I'm saying is that Valentin, every time that he has to cross the ball, he doesn't just cross the ball. He actually places the ball where the forward will be heading the ball. And that takes, like, it might seem like nothing to people or to, you know, whoever's watching, but that is a very good technical quality to have as a winger or as a, you know, fullback, I guess, in this case. You know, to be able to know where to place your crosses, it is such a vital and such a great advantage as a, you know, for a team or as a player to have. So shout out to Sarek Valentin. If you're listening, we love you. On and off the field, you're such a great dude. And also, if you have an extra pair of shoes, I know Nike gives you shoes. You know, well, we can cover this up, and you know, you can just hit the boy up and send some Nikes. I wear 10.5. So if you're down, I'm down. Let's make it happen. After me begging for shoes from Sarek Valentin, we can move to the great technical. We're doing I should do breakdowns of the goals, right? I think it would be cool. I think I might do that right now. I'm going to do a breakdown of this goal. But it's probably going to be me repeating the same stuff that I'm repeating here. But if you look at the goal from Darwin Quinteros, where he kind of like, whatever you call this, lobs it over the goalie, I can assure you 90% of the players, 90% of soccer players would have blasted that ball. Not like boom, blast, but you know, blasted, you know, kind of come in sideways. And that's probably what I would have done. I would have just tried to blast the ball into the goal. And if you look at this picture, I'm stopping it right now, you have 1, 2, 3, and then the guy kind of defending, and then the goalie. You have 4 players in front of him that could possibly block the ball, but then what does he choose to do? He chooses to chip the ball over the goalie, which it goes high enough that the goalie is actually jumping, and he's jumping a good foot or 2 feet off the ground, so the ball has enough air to go over the goalie, but then not over the goal, which it drops down into the goal. And if you actually see it, the ball actually drops in the goal. It doesn't like bounce before that, because there was a defender kind of rushing back to go get it. And that's also very technical of Quinteros. If you look at his style of playing, like if you look at just the way that he brings the ball down in the air, like it's just amazing. Like those are the type of players that you want to have. Like they're so really good technically that a long ball comes to them, and they're able to just kill it right there, like, you know, drop it dead into the floor, into in front of them, and then it gives them the advantage to like move, you know, because if you have the ball, you have an air ball coming to you, and it just bounces off of you, you just lost 2-3 steps from that ball. Like you created space between you and that ball. So it is very important for players to be able to bring that ball down like into their foot, so you can, like, as soon as you bring it down, you can attack right there and then. Because if you give, you know, a defender those 2-3 steps, then, you know, obviously the whole team kind of gathers around you, and you obviously killed your chance to attack. But yeah, very technical of him, and it's something that is very, very advantageous for the team. Today he didn't have a really hot game, and then also the way that he just, that second goal, if you look at that second goal, it comes from a free kick that, you know, me, from the position that it was on, or it was in the free kick, I was like, and then I saw, you know, him and Memo kind of set up for the free kick. I was like, Memo is going to blast this, you know, as he did with Dallas. But then also, you know, I was kind of sitting kind of like close to this side of the field. That's where the media sit, like really close to this side of the field. And the way that the goalie was positioning himself, and the way that he had his wall and some of the players were in front of him, I saw it kind of really, really hard for him to score that. Especially St. Clair, the goalie for Minnesota United, was having such a terrific game that he had like 2 or 3 important stops. And that, you know, from a hit from Memo from that, yeah, it would have been strong and it would have been dangerous, but I don't think it would have had the same reaction or the same rebound that it had from a position balled, you know, more like a technical ball from Quinteros in this free kick. So, and also, I mean, the quality of a player that you have to be to put, you know, a ball upper 90, and then obviously Figueroa, you know, being attentive, being, you know, awake and to like catch the rebounds, because a lot of people just stopped there, like most of the defenders did. Most of the defenders just stopped. But other than that, I think that was all from the Minnesota game. I think Marco Maric had have really good saves. Their goalie had a really good saves, and I think we could have won that game. At the end, we had a really close one with Vera from a free kick also. A pass back from Quinteros. He won first post. The goalie got it right there. That could have been a winner for us. But there was a bunch of opportunities from both teams. But it was a very entertaining game. I think Minnesota, Kansas City have become like pretty big rivalries when it comes to either playing here in Houston or playing over there in Minnesota or Kansas City. So those games are fun. And actually, we'll be playing the game. We will be playing them again soon. There you go. It came out correctly. Then moving on to the Chicago game. This Chicago game was, but first of all, let's take a break. Let me do that so it'll be easier. Let's take a break. All right, now we're back. That's how I know where to put the freaking ads. Okay, so now, why can't you give me the damn things? Okay, all right, I got it right here, bud. Okay, whatever. This thing is loading. So I'm pulling up the games so I can tell you guys when we're going next, where we're going, what's going on. But yeah, this Chicago game was very terrible. So after the game, actually, I hopped on the press conference, and then we had Tab Ramos, we had Nico Lemoyne, and we have Jose Bisama jump into the call. And something that all three of them spoke about, but also let me be clear, all three of them also said and pointed out that, what I'm about to tell you is not an excuse for losing a game. At the end of the day, you still have to play the games and you still have to, try and win. And putting anything, saying whatever can come out as an excuse. But they were saying, they all say, we played a terrible game. Chicago played a beautiful game. Everything went right for Chicago, basically. And we just lost fair and square, basically. And they all talked about how this trip was kind of very, very difficult for them because they felt like they didn't have any time to get rest. They felt like they were very rushed. They took the plane there. They had to have their meal. And then it was basically, Tab Ramos said, it just felt like we went from plane, food, game. And it was just very, very quick. He says usually they have some downtime to rest. And he said that for this game, they weren't able to have it. And also Nico Lemoyne and Jose Bisama also said the same thing. And they just felt like it was rushed. They felt like, they didn't have time to prepare or stuff like that. And actually, if you look at the game, like I said, it's not to be used as an excuse. But if you look at the game, it looked like there was something off. I even talked about it. I hopped on IG Live in halftime, and it just felt like they were so clumsy. There was something wrong with them. There was, I just came out of a game a couple days ago where they've been playing really good soccer. Honestly, I've been meaning to tell Tab Ramos this, but this has been the most beautiful soccer, well, except today, of course, and probably the Colorado game. But this has been the most beautiful soccer we have seen from the Houston Dynamo in the last 3 or 4 years, honestly. I mean, we were known to be a counter-attacking team. And lately, we have been a team that actually controls the ball, holds the ball, plays the ball, moves the ball around, makes the opposite team kind of run and try to get it from us. So, I mean, we've been playing a really good game of possession. Today, obviously, wasn't the case, and it felt that way. And it felt like the guys couldn't put 2 to 3 passes together. Tab Ramos mentioned, our main goal or focus in this game was going to control that midfield, which we didn't, and we saw what happened. Basically, they would get the ball, and they would just jump lines. Balls would go straight from almost the third, side of the field, their third side, if you divide the field in threes, from their first third to their first, you know what I mean. From their goal to our goal, the ball will move really quickly in transition because we had no control in the middle. Vera was lost, he was lost. Honestly, he probably had a few touches. I didn't even see him grab the ball like he usually does and control the midfield. Seren just seemed off. He was hardworking as ever, but he just didn't appear. You didn't hear his name a lot. Memo, obviously, he only played 45 minutes. Nothing from him. Darwin Quinteros had one shot on goal that went a little bit far up. And just, Ramirez had a bad game. A bunch of the balls would just bounce off of him. You couldn't control the ball. Bisama was probably the one that played the worst, other than probably maybe the center backs. Jose Bisama, basically I think all of the goals came from his side of the field. And, maybe it's because he hasn't been having playing time. So that's something that I asked Tab Ramos actually on the press conference. I asked him, why do we have Bisama instead of Valentin? And obviously a valid, answer that he gave was, we have a bunch of games coming up and they're all back to back. And, I kind of have to rotate them. And like, if he said, if it was up to me, I would have all, my 11 starters play every single game, or start every single game. But he was like, given the reality of what we're living today, and, given the type of, or the style of tournament, or, that we're playing literally like every 3 to 4 games, I just kind of have to rotate the guys, and I have to make sure that, they're fresh, they're good to go, and I just can't have them have all my 11 play, all of it. And it's, it's a given. And I think by that 3-0 going into the first half, going into the second half, sorry, I think we all saw that, the game was just kind of like going downhill, and why not give, Nico Lemoyne some minutes to get, acclimated with the team, get some rhythm in. Actually me and I think it was Hector, he jumped on the Instagram live with me. We talked about, why not having Lemoyne, why not having Palomino, why not have the young guys kind of, give it a fight, in the second half. I know, we're trying to win the game, but, 3-0 and we were playing terrible, and then VAR kind of took away 2 goals in a way, in a game that should have been probably like 5-0, 6-0. It was a game that I think every Dynamo fan was going to like, this game, we just got to say, fuck this game, let's move on, basically. But, it is what it is. I think Jose Bisama had a bad game, but I think the more that he plays, the better that he's going to get, hopefully. But, it is what it is. So I think we should stop talking about this and just kind of look forward to Saturday, which we'll have another match. We'll be playing in Nashville at 2:30 p.m. And then we'll be playing Saturday. So at least we have a week there, but then that following week we'll have a Saturday game, a Wednesday game, Saturday game, Wednesday game, Sunday game, and then we get another kind of like a week off. But it's going to be very, very like packed schedule. We have 10 more games to go from here till November 8th, which is decision day. But we're going to have 2 more games against FC Dallas, 1 more game against Minnesota. We're playing Columbus. That's going to be a tough one. We're playing at home, though, so hopefully we'll get some good out of it. We're playing LAFC. They're supposed to be good, but, lately they haven't. We're playing Inter Miami, who has been trash, but I guess now with Higuain and the other guy, the French guy, who knows? And then we're playing SKC one more time. So SKC, basically all the games that we're playing West teams are going to be vital for us. I mean, every game is vital, but the West games are going to be like 6-point games, basically. If you know soccer, you know that expression, basically. So we're playing Colorado, we're playing Dallas, we're playing LA, we're playing Minnesota, we're playing Dallas again, we're playing SKC, and that's it. So out of the 10 games, 6 games are going to be with in-conference opponents, and then 4 obviously with no conference, the other conference opponents, I guess. But it's gonna be good. I mean, shit, the West is very tight. Everybody's winning, everybody's losing. Like everybody's just kind of staying. Like I was looking right now, if we would have won the game, we probably would have jumped to like 4th place or something like that. So I mean, a point nowadays are going to be difference makers. So like, I think we have 1 away game, 2 away games, 3 away games, 4, 5. We have 5 away games, 5 home games. If we can get, I mean, I don't want to do math, to be honest. But we need to get the most points we can get. I mean, at home, we have to win, period, dot. Like, there is no buts, ifs, and whatever about it. You're at home, you have to win. We're playing SKC, we're playing Dallas, we're playing Nashville, we're playing Columbus, that's going to be tough, and we're playing Colorado. That's home. We need to win all those points. Away, we're playing Nashville, we're playing away in Miami, we're playing Minnesota away, we're playing LAFC away, and we're playing Dallas away. And those, we have to get the most points possible to be able to make it into these goddamn playoffs. So yeah, we'll stop with that, and then let's talk a little bit, real quick about the novela of Elis and Bajamich. I think we are, as Dynamo fans, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of dominoes or dynamite. There's a lot of Dynamo fans that honestly, if you're listening, I don't like to talk shit about fellow Dynamo fans, just because, you know, you guys are kind of like my family in a way. You know, me as a Dynamo fan, you're a Dynamo fan. We're supposed to like each other and support each other, whatever. But there's a lot of trash talking from Dynamo people, which is understandable, right? Like, I understand you don't like to lose and the team plays like shit, like today, and you know, just kind of take out our frustrations. And I understand we haven't won a game in 5 games, but let's be honest. All this year, other than the fact that it's abnormal, we have played better soccer, other than this game, than the last like 3-4 years combined. I think I was looking today, last year we got 6 points in 16 games of away games. 16 games, we lost 14 of them. Terrible. This year so far, we've gotten 4 points from away games. And we beat SKC and we tied with Colorado. Obviously, we're not going to have the same amount of matches. We're going to have like 25, 26 matches. But I don't even think we even get to that. But we are playing so much better. I think Tab Ramos has brought in such a different like style of play, such a different like attitude to the players and to the team as a whole, to the organization as a whole, that, you know, stop complaining, stop bitching, stop talking so much shit. I talk shit about the team, that's completely fine, and everybody has the right, but like, and I understand, like, I funny enough, I play devil's advocate with myself. Because a lot of people, you know, obviously, me, myself, I'm not a season ticket holder. Because, honestly, I don't have the money for it. But if I did have the money for it, I would be. Yeah, I know, like, it's whatever, it's an excuse. But, like, honest to God, I don't have, like, an extra dollar to spare. But if you are a season ticket holder and you're always bitching how you're going to cancel your subscription and how you're going to cancel your seats and, you know, this team, just fucking do it, bro. Like, just get your season ticket, you know, whatever, tu carneo, whatever. I don't know how it works, because obviously I didn't even look into it because I don't have the money for it. But just cancel it. Don't go. Don't listen. Don't watch. Become a fan of a different team. Like, why is it so hard? Like, it's funny because I saw somewhere today that it was like, oh, you know, ride or die. But, like, you obviously do not understand the definition of ride or die. Like, ride or die means that you will, I guess no. I guess not, right? But, like, well, I like the Spanish version. En las buenas, en las malas. Like, in the good times and the bad times. Like, if you're going to be a fan in the good times and you're going to celebrate the wins and the championships and all that stuff, the glory days or whatever, you have to be as much as a fan of that same team when they're playing like shit, when they have a 4-0 loss against a Chicago team, when they can't keep a lead, and yes, they'll lose in the last 5 minutes, or like they'll get the game tied up. It is what it is, bro. Like, if you are a supporter, if you are a fan, be a fan, be a supporter. I understand if you're going to bitch and moan, but stop threatening people. Like, stop saying, oh, this team is shit. Like, yes, we all know this team is bad. But, like, when are you going to stop the slandering? Like, what will make you happy? You know, I know that Brenner's not going to drop $10 million on a player. For God's sakes, like, Bajamich is about to go to a 3rd division team in England because we don't want to put down $1.2 million. $1.2 million. I'm not talking about 10. we don't want to put down a fucking payment plan for supposedly a legit guy. We don't even know him, to be honest. He could be a bust, or he could be the greatest player in the history of the Dynamo. But like, they won't even gamble that much for a supposedly great player. What makes you think they're gonna bring like a Mexican national guy, or like a really good guy that a lot of people ask about? Like, just stop. Like, live this reality. Stop living, like my mom would say, in una nube de pedos, like in the fucking like realm of the sky where dreams and fairy tales and all these things come true. Like, no, be realistic that the Houston Dynamo is what it is, and if we don't get a change, and honestly, there's nothing we can do to change this. Like, honestly, like, honest to God, what can we do? I mean, obviously there are some things that we could do as fans to change or to make the owner sell his club, but at the end of the day, he owns the goddamn club. He is the owner of the club. Like, he owns it. He gets to do whatever he wants with it. It's his money, sadly enough. Like, we have no say whatsoever. Just because you are a fan of his team doesn't mean that he's going to do what you want him to do. Like, be realistic about it. If I have kids, and if you're a parent, and if somebody you like tells you how to like raise your kid, yes, you might take it into consideration. But at the end of the day, it's your goddamn kid, and you raise your goddamn kid how you want to raise your goddamn kid. Does that make any sense? I mean, it makes sense to me, I guess. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, I don't say anything, but I'm kind of like sick and tired of people just talking shit for no reason. Like, just move on. I think I did this rant already like a few episodes ago, but it is what it is. If you're gonna be a fan of the good times and the bad times. Yeah, take a 4-0 loss and just, take it, put it in your pocket, walk away. Like, it is what it is. We have another game. We gotta go and win that. Like, you just gotta move on. You can't live in the past of being a terrible team. Like, yeah, guess what? Wilmer Cabrera is not our coach anymore. You have Tab Ramos. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of new guys. He signed a bunch of new kids that might be a future of this club. So just have some hope, bruh. But yeah, also at this, like, in the same sentence that I'm saying that about the fans, in the same sentence I want to say, like, if you're the owner of the Houston Dynamo, who you know who you are, can you help us out? Because we need your help. We understand this is your team, but like, if you want us, like, which is funny because I just said what I said, but if you want us to keep supporting your team in a way, like, just know that, first of all, just know that we don't support the team because of you or who the owner of this organization is. We support the team because we support the color, we support the team, we support what Dynamo means to the city and to soccer fans, period. I wish this league wasn't the way that it is, but it is what it is. Every other league, the team is like for the people, by the people in a way. But unfortunately, this league, like, they have owners, and some owners are better than others. But we ask you, like, and also Matt Jordan, with all due respect, sir, what are you doing? Like, obviously, I don't want to be in your position. I don't know 1% of the stuff that you do, like when it comes to business or whatever it is that you do. But like, everybody saw how terrible this Albert Ellis situation was. Like, you buy a guy for $4.5 million, you sell him for 1.1. Albert Ellis, probably the greatest player of your franchise. Like, that makes no sense. Like, with all due respect, I hope you're kicking yourself for this. If the numbers are true, because we don't even know the numbers, but if the numbers are true, what people claim to be true, 1.1 million for possibly our greatest player in the Dynamo history, or one of the greatest players. Like, come on, bro. You dropped the ball. And then also, if you happen to drop the ball on this Bahamic stuff, it's not going to look good on you, with the fans at least. With the owners, who knows? Because obviously they run on a different mindset that we do. But with all due respect to Matt Jordan, come on, bro, let's do something. Like, work for the people, not work for the people, but like build a winning team. Like, let's get over this 3 buckets type thing. Young, good, sell him for a lot more. Because obviously he's not working. I mean, you missed one right there with Ellis. So obviously there's something going on. Like, you're not following your process. But yeah, I guess I'll just shut up now. I think I've been ranting for too long, and my blood pressure is gonna go up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shut it down here. But yeah. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch this Nashville game live, so I probably won't be on my phone so much. I have to work. Man, can you believe they put me to work at nights now? Some bullshit. But yeah, so now, unfortunately, I won't be able to watch that game. So, don't tell me anything till I have to watch it. And hopefully, Nashville doesn't give us as much trouble as Chicago did. So, with that being said, 40 minutes in, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching if you're watching. Hopefully you guys like rants. And yeah, tell me, man, nobody ever comments. Tell me if you agree with me or you disagree with me, if you listen this far. But other than that, thank you everybody. Have a safe whatever. Stay safe. And the rain already came and went. Hopefully you guys didn't have too much trouble with that. And yeah, hopefully we get this kid Bahamic, because if we don't, then a lot of people are going to throw fits. And then I really don't want to listen to people throw fits about how terrible we are as an organization. So hopefully somebody actually makes something happen. But other than that, thank you everybody. QuattroQuattroDos, QUATTRO, QUATTRODOS, Chris Putalia, CRISPUTALLAZ on the social medias. See you guys later. Have fun. Enjoy your day and be safe. And I don't even know how to stop this. So I'm going to keep talking until this stops. All right. Bye-bye.